how do I find the best? Because if I'm going to represent this company, I will not feel comfortable representing anything that is not the best, in my opinion. So it took me several years to find the industry, health and wellness. And then I just went through and identified companies. And I said, okay, which one's the best? And I discovered Shaklee at that time. And Dr. Shaklee invented the multivitamin 105 years ago and really created and pioneered the nutritional supplement industry. I'm like, somebody who's been invented it, and the company is still around after many, many decades, and has a commitment to quality and to research and development, and has customers that buy their product for 10 years and 20 years and 30 years and 40 years and 50 years and 60. This must be something special. And then I also made a list of personal criteria of what I wanted in my business, is that I wanted the business to be a global business. And the reason is that I had lived and worked in New York, London, Tokyo, Paris, Hong Kong, and I loved the idea that in different countries, people have different cultures. But I also believe that people are fundamentally have the same desires. They want to provide a better life for themselves and their family. They want to devote their time and energy to something that is important, that has a purpose, that they want to be part of something bigger than just themselves, and that they want to help others if they can. And so that was, I asked myself, could I ever find a business that would be growing for the next 50 years, be global in nature, and make a real difference, not just for one person or two people or three people, but millions of people around the world? That was my criteria. And I had a team of people who worked for me, and they would look at businesses for me. And I wrote down on a whiteboard, this is the kind of business I'm looking for. And my team said, Roger, it's impossible to find a business like that. You can either find a business that is growing and has good economics, or you can find a business that's local, or maybe international, or you could find a business that in some small way does a good thing for people, but you're never going to find one that has all of them. And I'm like, let's try. So thousands of companies later, 4 years later, then I finally found Shaklee. I'm like, this is perfect. Pioneered the industry, health and wellness. The business model allows everyone to participate. So it's not just the company that makes the money. We share it with people. And by people sharing it, they can build the health of their families. They can grow as business leaders. We can share how to become an entrepreneur. And they can earn income that can support their families for multiple generations. And it's global. Like, this is perfect. So I found out who owned Shaklee at the time, which was a Japanese pharmaceutical company. And I called them up and I said, my name is Roger Barnett, and I'm so excited because I've been looking for years to find the perfect business, and I finally found it. And I would like to buy Shaklee. How much? And they said, well, we're very happy for you, Mr. Barnett, that you found Shaklee, but Shaklee's not for sale. And I didn't know what to do. I hung up. I didn't know what to say. And then I went and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. I have finally found the business that I want, and it's not available. What am I going to do? And that's the moment I think many of us have this moment in our lives. We have a moment. We have two choices. We either crawl into a dark room, turn the lights out, close the door, put the bed sheets over your head, crawl up and cry, or you don't give up and you try again. So a couple of weeks later, I called back and I said, "Hi, this is Roger again." They were in Japan. I was living in New York City at the time. I said, "In a couple weeks, I'm just happening to come visit Japan. And how about if I just stop by and say hi?" Now, I was going to Japan only for the purpose of trying to see them, but I left that part out. And I said, "How about coming to say hi?" And they said, "Mr. Barnett, we hope that you enjoy our country and your visit, but there's no need to say hi because Shaklee's not for sale." And then I said, "Oh, that's terrible." But then I'm like, "Look, I want it. I tried, but I can't succeed at it. So I'm going to just keep looking and seeing if I can find another company, which is like Shaklee." So I spent the next year looking at many more companies in the field. And for me, most of them were either, when you start looking at their products, the marketing is really good, but the science and the clinical evidence was not there. Or the culture and the values of the company wasn't very good. Or I didn't feel that I could share this with my friends and be a representative and be comfortable. And that got me sadder and sadder each time that I found another company that didn't meet my criteria. But then, fortunately, the Japanese company that owned Shaklee merged with another company. And it's traditional for them at that point. We were not a pharmaceutical company. They were a pharmaceutical company, that they decided that at that point they would be willing to sell the company. And the minute I heard that, I went in and I gave them an offer, and everybody else who was looking to buy the company had all these questions, and they were they weren't willing to commit. They're like, "We'll give you an offer in this range, but then I have to do more work and I have to investigate that. I'm like, "I've done my investigation. Here's my money. There's no conditions to it. It's 100% guaranteed." And I ended up paying them $310 million to buy Shaklee. Now, I have one complaint with all of you. I bought Shaklee so I could be part of this company that pioneered the health and wellness industry, that allows, in an industry that's going to grow for the next 50 years, that allows people to build and earn income, millions of people, while they're improving their health. But because none of you talked to me about joining Shaklee as a distributor, how much does it cost to join as a distributor in Malaysia?
35 ringgit.
Helen?
35 ringgit.
Okay, so for 35 ringgit, I could have participated with this wonderful company, and instead I had to spend $310 million. So I'm very happy with the investment, I just want to say, but don't forget two things from it. I think, have your vision of what you want. Don't give up on your dream, and always talk to somebody about joining you in your business, because you never know who they are and what they might do and what they might be. So, and then there was one final sign that Shaklee was the right thing for me, and that was right at the time that we were finalizing the terms of the deal. I came home one day, and my oldest son at the time was 3 or 4 years old, and his heart was racing, and he was having a lot of trouble breathing. And my wife and I were very nervous, and we took him to the emergency room in the hospital. And they said that he was diagnosed with respiratory airways disease, which is asthma. And we said asthma. We had never had any history in our family of asthma, and so my wife was a kind of investigative journalist, and we did a lot of research. And again, no one in our family had asthma, so we felt that it wasn't genetic, that it was caused by something in the environment that we were doing. And in further research, one of the things that we realized is that the chemicals in the cleaning products that we were using to clean our home, thinking that we were making it a safe environment for our child, are actually triggers to cause asthma. And so I had looked at Shaklee's product line before buying the company, and it had incredible nutrition products and fantastic skincare products and fantastic products to help you manage your weight. And then it had the cleaning product line. And I didn't understand at the time why a health company would have a cleaning product line until that episode. And I'm like, everything you do, the water that you drink, the air that you breathe, the things that you put on your body, the things in your home, all impact your health. So we have to feed your body with nutrition. We have to get you to a healthy weight, and we have to surround you with non-toxic products at the same time. And that was just a sign. And we changed our home to Shaklee products, and that's 17 years that my son has never had to go to the hospital again for that issue. And I'm very grateful for Shaklee for that, amongst many other things.